What is up, bros and broettes? I'm Inkslasher44, and today we're going to be talking about Black Ops 3, the game we are all currently loving, being somewhat destroyed by supply drops. And yes, maybe that's a little bit of an overstatement, but I'm a little upset, and it has to do with the weapons I talked about yesterday. And I'm really somewhat not over-exaggerating the whole idea that Black Ops 3 is really being hindered by supply drops now. And I love supply drops, I love the idea of them, I love the way they worked up until yesterday, and then they were destroyed. If we look back at Advanced Warfare as a game, if you ask me, I made a video about it less than a year ago talking about how supply drops actually were a hindrance to the game, caused it problems, and made the game a worse game. Now, this video is going to be somewhat similar to this, but hopefully I am preventing something in the future or actually solving it, because yes, I have a solution to their problems, and we're going to talk about that in a second. But what is going on? Why am I so mad? What do you need to know? Now, I know this is very, very controversial, and I'm going to try to stay on both sides of the fence here as I explain this one. So, basically, as of right now, or as of yesterday, before yesterday, the way supply drops worked in Black Ops 3 is that when the game first came out, you could, first of all, just earn supply drops by getting crypto keys. After a while, you could then pay for them with Call of Duty points. Now, I was completely okay at that point, because everything you could receive in a supply drop, whether it be a regular supply drop or a rare, you always received aesthetic changes. Never anything to do with stats, never anything to do with making you a better player, and never anything to do to make you play the game differently than anyone else. Just visual differences. As of yesterday, we received 5 new weapons into the game, 2 of which were aesthetic differences. The sword and the crowbar were both aesthetic differences. However, there are 3 weapons that were added: the M1 Grand or MX Grand, whatever you want to call it, the crossbow that can shoot 6 bullets out of it at a time, which is apparently pretty damn good, and on top of that, an executioner style pistol, kind of like a shotgun pistol. These were not aesthetic differences, and I stood up yesterday and I said, Treyarch, I believe in you. You're just going to make these DLC. Weapons you can buy that anyone can get aren't based on luck. And I was just completely shut down. You know what? They are only in supply drops. You can only get them through supply drops. You can't just go out and buy them. They are 100% based on luck. Well, what have we seen before in the past? Looking back at Advanced Warfare, when that game first came out, you could not buy supply drops. Then once the game was out for a bit, guess what? You could buy advanced supply drops, which were better than supply drops. Guess what's going on in Black Ops 3? You can only buy rare supply drops, which are better than regular supply drops. Do you see something in common there? Then later in the game, there was guns released that you could only receive through supply drops, and guess what just happened yesterday? Black Ops 3 released guns that aren't aesthetically different, that are literally guns that the only way you can receive them is to spend money on supply drops, cross your fingers, and hope you can get them. Now, if we look back at Advanced Warfare, I used over 1,000 supply drops, spent hundreds of dollars on these things, and never once received the best weapon in the game, being the Insanity. Never once, not received one. I am on the high end. I am of the people who has spent a lot of money, who have spent a lot of their time playing the game, and did not receive the one thing that I wanted since the beginning of the game. Now, guess what? It's back in Black Ops 3. Now, I am not complaining that I didn't get the Insanity. It happens, and that game was like that from the beginning. Weapon variants were in there. In this game, this is a new thing. These are weapons you can only now get through supply drops, and you'll see larger commentators than myself who are kind of in Treyarch's pocket. I don't really want to name names, but that you'll hear them say, you know what, this is okay. This is okay because these weapons are balanced. They are no better than anything else in the game. Well, here's what I'm telling you. If there is something that could make a player play differently than myself, that will change the way they play the game, and I can't do it because 1, I am not lucky enough, or 2, cannot afford it. That is 100% not fair, and 100% something that should not be in the game. And I love love Black Ops 3, and the fact that they are changing something like this bothers the living hell out of me because they're screwing with something that I have come to love. Yesterday I stood up and I said, you know what, I believe in Treyarch. They're going to make the guns that are not just aesthetically different, but physically different, so you can get them whenever you want. If you have, you know what, $5 to spend, you can get that weapon. Well, I was shot down, and I lost a lot of trust in Treyarch, and I have to apologize. I'm sorry that I said that. I was horribly, horribly wrong. Now, the fact of the matter is, we can't stop this. There is nothing we can do to stop this. When they release these weapons only in supply drops, they make oodles and oodles more money than they would if they were to just release them as something you can pay for and buy. Why? I don't know. Something to do with the psyche, because you know what, you might not get them, and then you're going to spend more money to get more supply drops, and then still not get them, and then spend more money to get more supply drops, and still not get them, and then you'll eventually get them, and you know what, they'll release another gun, and you'll spend more money to get that, and it is insane how much people spend on these things. And I know what you're thinking, Inkslasher, you are part of the problem. You make these videos where you open supply drops, and you know what, you're 100% correct. And what I have to say for that is that I am a Call of Duty commentator. I make everything Call of Duty, and the fact of the matter is that as of before yesterday, everything was aesthetically different. I didn't think it mattered that I spent money. In Advanced Warfare, I had to spend money because if I didn't, I'd fall behind as a Call of Duty commentator. This Call of Duty commentator thing on YouTube is a competitive thing. A lot of people do it, and to stay ahead, you have to do what is popular. And to do that, you know what? Sometimes you got to buy supply drops. Sometimes you got to talk about this, and sometimes you got to talk about that to stay into what is trending. Just like you're not going to see someone like Kim Kardashian wear something that was popular in the 70s. No, she's going to do what's up to date, current. Stay up to date on what is popular to keep herself popular. And that is why I still, to this date, open supply drops. Now, I am not just complaining in this video. I have a solution for this, and I have a way that this can be made better. Number one, make it so you can buy these damn things. Make it so you can just go ahead and buy the damn weapon. That would be fantastic, and that would save people a lot of time and a lot of money. Number two, if you're not going to do that, for the love of God, open a marketplace. If we look at a game like Counter-Strike, and I know Call of Duty is compared to Counter-Strike a lot, everything you can get out of cases in Counter-Strike is an aesthetic difference. Aesthetic, not physical. And guess what? Those crates are about 100 times more popular than supply drops. So how does that work? Why are the aesthetic ones more popular? Because real-life value is associated with them. There is no real-life value associated with getting the MX Grand in Call of Duty Black Ops 3, because you know why? You can't trade them in any way. If someone were to make it so that you could trade in 10 epics, and all of a sudden you could trade in 10 epics for the MX Grand, guess what? I would trade in 10 epics for the MX Grand, and that money I spent $100 to just try to get the MX Grand and wouldn't be wasted. I would have that weapon, because guess what? I could spend hundreds of thousands of dollars and still not get any of the new weapons if I'm simply unlucky. And that is my biggest problem with this. There's so many problems on so many levels to do with only receiving weapons through supply drops, and it bothers the hell out of me. I think I covered it enough. I think I nailed this problem so far into the ground. There is nothing else for me to say. I am frustrated with it. I want to hear what you guys think. I know a lot of you are probably thinking that the supply drops beforehand were boring and now they're interesting because you can actually get things that'll change the game. What I have to say to that is that Counter-Strike does it in a way which is brilliant. It's only aesthetic differences, and the things that make it interesting to watch people open and to open themselves is the things you get in-game actually have a monetary value associated with them, and that's absolutely amazing. Let's say there was a marketplace in Call of Duty where you could spend your crypto keys or Call of Duty points and buy things. Like, let's say you could buy the MX Grand for 2,000 Call of Duty points or for 2,000 crypto keys. I might be a little bit more okay with this, because then your money isn't going to waste if you don't get the thing you are trying to get. So that's all I have to say about the issue. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like rating. It really, really helps out my channel. I'm trying to stand up to something here, so if you could share the video or just show it to someone who you think would agree with me, that would be really, really fantastic. Thanks you for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed, and until next time, Peace out.